So here we go, and this Dexter opens up where Dexter Original Sin started off, or with Dexter's storyline stopping. Like that, we see what happened. Dexter's out in the cold in the woods, and he's getting driven in the car in the police officer's vehicle to the hospital, and they start doing surgery on him. And then he starts narrating because he basically died, and he's narrating his life, and we see that's Original Sin, how Original Sin started, and we never get back to this point. And that's another thing I want to talk about. I am pretty pissed that Original Sin got canceled for stupid reasons. Technically, I mean, I think this writer is well capable of getting another showrunner to run Dexter Original Sin, get the scripts, read it, and give his approval or non-approval on how the script's going while working on the other show. I know it's difficult, but they don't do as many shows as they used to. You know, Dexter, I don't remember the original. I think there were a few, the original first season or 2 seasons, how each episode was. But I don't know. I would assume it's much. I have found enjoyable watching Dexter Resurrection about Dexter in New York City in the winter, watching that in the summer, and then seeing the summer watching in the winter watching the Dexter Original Sin in Miami. I found that interesting. Yeah, spoilers. So here we go. Dexter Original Sin. It starts out funny enough. He's in the hospital. All right, he's getting open heart surgery. He's about to die. So they got to do emergency surgery, and all of a sudden he does die. Technically, I don't remember if they said he was dead for how long, but or they even pointed it out. But he was, because I guess he's in purgatory. That's what I think it is. It's like in between. He's in between worlds. He opens his eyes and he's like, "Oh, what is this? Like, is he dead?" And it's white. It's not dark and scary, so it's interesting. And the first person he sees is Trinity. The Trinity Killer is up there, and when I saw John Lithgow, I went crazy. They're supposed to do a spin-off also of the Trinity Killer, and Trinity is talking to him, and they talk about how basically Dexter says it's your fault. Harrison tried to kill me, and so Miguel Prado's talking to him, and he goes, "Oh, well, they're innocent people that are going to get in the way," and he shows them the grave of Deborah and LaGuarta, and he's looking at the Endokes and all these people. And you're like, "Damn, Dexter!" And then Dexter falls into a grave, empty grave, and then I think they're in the hospital. After there are complications in the hospital, we cut to Harrison waking up. The alarm goes off. That's what happened when Dexter was falling. There was an alarm sound going off, and Harrison wakes up, and he's in Manhattan, and we find out that he is working at a hotel in New York City, and he got his GED. He's working at the Empire Hotel, using his real name. And he's got a girl that kind of reminds me of Deborah, even though it's not Deborah, but she reminds me of Deborah. And somehow, I don't know, the way she looks or something, her caring for Harrison, maybe. But we see Harrison's got like people here that like him. So we see this guy's interesting guy. He's with some girl who's supposedly his wife, I think, or I don't know. And he asked Harrison to fix a watch for him, because Harrison knows people. And Harrison takes these 2 gay guys upstairs, and we see that Harrison has PTSD from shooting his father and for them, killing the guy. And then he meets this girl, Shasha, or Shauna, I forgot. And then that's when he wakes up. He sees his dad, which was cool. Also, him seeing Harry, because Harry was not in New Blood, so it was cool to see Harry. He was complaining a lot about not being in New Blood, and it was because they had Deb being the new ghost. And now that Dexter's Dexter again, he's got Harry on his side again. And he practically talks to the same thing, like Dexter says, "I have nothing to live for." And Harry's like, "You have a son." "You have a son." That, by the way, James Remar is fantastic as Harry. Like, Christian Slater couldn't hold a candle to him. And I like that he's back actually in the show. This is one of the things I was kind of disappointed when they took him out. And he goes, "You have a son, whatever." He goes, "Well, he's better off. The one that tried to kill me, the one that shot me in the heart, put me here." And he's like, he basically said, "Well, you can't give up on him," or whatever. And he brings up, because Trinity kind of said, like, "Oh, you're blaming me for your decisions earlier on," because Dexter was kind of like, "I'm here because basically Trinity." He's looking for an excuse. So he's like, because you killed his mother. Like this is how this all led to this moment. And Trinity was like, "You're responsible for yourself." And then Dexter kind of throws something at Harry too, because he says like a boy needs his father, and then he goes, oh, my brother didn't have a father or whatever. But anyway, then Dexter's in his room, wakes up, and we see, surprise, motherfucker. That was the best. I cheered. I jumped out of my seat. I was so excited to see Dokes, but Dokes would never say this to Dexter ever. He would never be like, no, Dexter, there's some good in you. Besides all that baby hopper butcher shit, that, you know, there was good in you, whatever. And he goes like, I'm watching you. He does that thing with his eyes. He used to do to Dexter like, every time he told him he's watching him. And then I think Dexter wakes up from this. At this moment, he wakes up out of the coma because he's been in a coma for 10 months. So that's what we discover. That's why they look so old, especially Harrison. He looks like a baby. It was only a few years ago that they filmed New Blood, and he looks so much older now than he did back then. The doctor that did the surgery is a different doctor all of a sudden. If you saw the first, the beginning, the doctor was a Spanish guy right here. And this was in the opening of this episode. And then all of a sudden, he's a new guy right here. Oh, going too fast. There we go. All of a sudden now, he is, surprise, motherfucker, an Indian from the Seneca Nation, which is technically, when we investigated the Hinsdale house, the Seneca Nation is right there. Anyway, so Harrison back in New York City, he sees that guy, the rich snob douchebag, has a nice car too, that Harrison saw a friend of his driving. He's like, oh yeah, it's this guy, he's there. And then Harrison went and gave him weed. And the guy was like, hey man, can you fix my watch? Man, this guy's the best. He knows everyone. And then his manager was like, we only hire the best, after his manager was giving Harrison shit. By the way, nobody knows that Harrison, besides the girlfriend, nobody knows that Harrison is living in the hotel. So he met Shauna, I believe that was her name. And I feel like Shauna was supposed to be a bigger character, and they hired her for this. And then I don't know if she's filming something else or doing something else, but she just disappears from the entire series after this little spot. But he's like this, like, because I think he tells Harrison something stupid, and like either this is, I don't think he says my wife. I think our first girl he said was his wife, and then he sees her with Shauna, and she's drunk, and he sees like, he kind of gets a little upset, and then he's like, won't you help me take her in? And she's like, she's completely wasted, and Harrison's a little upset with this. The guy takes her inside, and he's about to do something to her. It was with the R word, but we'll call it graping. And Harrison runs in because he hears her scream or something, and he says, "You okay?" Kind of like George McFly. After Biff was knocked out, Biff, he goes, "Are you okay?" But he sees the guy there, and the guy's like, "You fucking, like, you idiot," because he basically told him something like, "Listen, man, like, back off. Don't worry about this. She wants it," or something ridiculous, disgusting actually. And Harrison just charges him like crazy and attacks him. And the guy gets the upper hand and starts beating the shit out of Harrison for a little bit. And then Harrison goes crazy. Basically, what Harrison does is he fucking kills this dude. Let's see, we get it right here. Here we go.
Fucking hero. Fucking move it.
I wonder if I'm gonna get struck down for this. I doubt it though.
Okay, alright. Get the bitch out of here if you want. You dumbass. There's plenty more where she came from. There's always more. No, 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 no!
And after he patches himself up, he starts going around the hotel because he got access to every room. He takes her to her room first, almost gets caught. Somebody's about to exit their room, and he sees and he stops, puts her in her room, puts her to bed, doesn't do anything, then starts getting cleaning supplies, stacking it up, going to the room and pulling off Dexter, just removing him from the scene to get rid of his body later on when they go to the kitchen, which is awful. Anyway, he uses bleach, cleans up all the blood, makes the place look immaculate, and he would know how to make it look immaculate as he works for the hotel. By the way, he reminds me of his character, like, in the show. See, I like that he's wearing the gloves and everything. In the hotel, reminds me of, what was his name? Michael J. Fox in the movie For Love or Money, because he plays like a concierge guy that could, like, wheeling and dealing inside the hotel. Like, I get you tickets to this game. Like, he had everything. That's what Michael J. Fox character. He had to know all the connections and everything. That's not a bad movie. It's pretty good. But anyway, he remembers what his dad said about getting rid of the bodies and New Blood and how to do it and cut them into 8 pieces. So he takes the body downstairs to the kitchen and he decides to chop them up. And it's messy. Boy, is it messy. And takes them down. And I don't know, my test's working. And this is what I was going to talk about. So Harrison chopped them up. There was a little bit of blood that got on the ceiling after he chopped them. It would have been a lot more blood, actually. And he puts his body in bags, little bags, wraps them up, and then takes them to where the garbage was in front of, that was the foreshadowing earlier, right? And starts throwing them on the curb. Now, if you see right there in that picture, right there where he's throwing it, you see the bag? Right above it on that wall, that's fucking cameras. I don't know if in the script there was a scene where he went and deleted this footage, but like, oh, they said it maybe and I missed it, that the footage where your cameras was deleted, so we don't know where because I mean, come on. By the way, they were literally right there and the guys didn't even see him, the sanitation guys, because he threw it out right as they came. So they came, they take it away, and then I don't know if it's cutting there or that. We go back to Dexter, obviously, as we can see from the thing, and he's working out, learning how to, doing therapy. The cop comes in and asks Dexter if Dexter wants to press charges, and then it reminds us of all the stupid shit that New Blood did. And then there was that scene where the cop came up and said something to him, and then he grabbed him, hit the cop's head. The cop took his gun out and tried to shoot Dexter from behind the bars, and Dexter got out. And then so he goes that guy went to shoot him because he thought he was the Bay Harbor Butcher or the killer or whatever. Anyway, Dexter's free and clear. It was preposterous. everything they did to try to make this like, yeah, we just want the show to go on. So just they'll go along with this. And that's right, the fans will go along with this. The sanitation guy found the body part, the bag ripped, and then they call the police. And then we get this girl, the alien, that listens to the Bee Gees and plays music, and her partner, who was the husband on Nurse Jackie with Edie Falco. That was a good show, Nurse Jackie. This alien-looking fuck. I'm sorry, no offense to her, but I don't think they wanted her. I think they wanted, because she's terrible and her acting is awful. I think they wanted this actress, but she has some sickness that is hard for her schedule, and some reason people are kind of like dicks in Hollywood, and they're like, yeah, sorry, you have to work around our schedule, so get lost. I think she was in this episode. Find her. Yeah, this girl, Jennifer Esposito. So she got thrown out of this show. She has some sort of disease or sickness that she needed like more days to work, and Blue Bloods kicked her to the curb. And then they cast her somebody else that I didn't like for a while, and she wasn't that bad. The other actress. So I give her whatever. But she looks just like her, and I was like, they were definitely going for that, and they would have loved to have her, Jennifer Esposito, but something I think, sorry, because that's the only reason why I would cast this person. Like, this person's awful. I'm sorry, this is actress, that's really terrible of me to say, but like, you like the one thing that brought the show down, and your quirks are like not funny or cute or anything. Like, you're like the least interesting thing on the show, technically. Just the fact that you were good at your job, but the person they cast is just awful. Like, just, I don't like a robot. So, like this alien type creature. So anywho, so she's going around, she puts her headphones on and listens to the Bee Gees. Is it Staying Alive? Yeah. Oh, some song, no, whatever. I think it was, you could tell by the way I use my walk-up. Saturday Night Fever. Anyways, we go back to the Seneca Nation Hospital, and also Dexter goes to his room, and there's Batista, and I was like, no. Batista, I hated Batista since season 2. Yeah, since season 2 or 3, after he gets stabbed, and he was such a fucking bitch. Like, he was trying to get with some woman for like I was just like, get lost. And he had a daughter too, right? I don't know. It would have been kind of nice to see the Original Sin. I really, really, really am pissed off that Original Sin got canceled. It was a really good show. I did not think it was going to be that good. And I love wanting to see how Harry really dies, because they were doing this whole thing with Brian coming back earlier than he does. And I wanted to see this develop. And then, not Paramount. What's the new company that bought Paramount out? Whatever that company that bought, Skydance. So we want you to focus on Resurrection. Well, why not both? Because you have 2 hit shows. Don't you like making money? The fuck, dude. Dexter shit his pants when he saw Batista. And Batista's like, hermano, don't forget about El Pasión. And he gives him a hug. And he's like, you would have been by surprise that I found out you were alive. And then they start talking and hands him a Cubano sandwich that he brought from Miami. Now, I thought you might want something better than hospital food. And he gives him fucking a Cubano from Miami. Bro, how the flight from Florida to New York is three hours. And you're going further upstate New York. So maybe 4 hours. All right? And you're gonna bring a fucking Cubano. Bro, I'm gonna get sick. You're gonna have me shitting in my pants. Anyway, we are closing loose ends and from the original series finale and New Blood. That's why I didn't review this show, because what Batista was talking about, what happened, I was like, what? I didn't remember any of that. And I was like, wait, no, I don't remember this. I don't remember this. I thought this happened. Wait, I thought they all thought he, like, I don't know. I didn't know anything. I was bugged out, and I was like, I gotta watch the original. I never watched the original. I should have just reviewed the new one. His therapist tells him about a serial killer that chopped up a body. Oh yeah, the therapist is working on him after Batista leaves, and Batista tells him, by the way, hermano, welcome back to the world. I just, since I found out you were alive, I declared you alive. I brought you back, or whatever the hell that they have to do to a dead person. That's someone that's presumed dead, to give them their life back. And then he walks out, and Dexter goes, yes, that's because he's gonna try to charge me. Like, Dexter knows that Batista's on his ass. And I was actually happy when Batista got taken out. I did not cry. I wonder if you cried, let me know if you cried when Batista died, because I didn't. Batista shows up, and Dexter's, oh, this is another time. Yeah, so after that, Dexter's getting, well, let's go with the pictures now, since we already saw this. We go back, and the cops found out that the guy was at this hotel. That was the last place he was seen. And, Harrison has PTSD, so he's seeing flashes and images of things, of people he's killed. So he sees that guy, and then he stumbles back and knocks over the housekeeping cart with all the food on it, and then he has to like scurry it off with it. And the detective already has her sights on Harrison. She's like, "Who's that? What's his name?" And so Harrison's kind of fucked. But you would think Harrison thinks he's gonna be fucked because they're searching that room. I would have shit my pants. I would have probably killed myself. I shouldn't say that, but technically, if I was in Harrison's position and I did this, and all of a sudden the cops are in the room and searching it like crazy, I'm like, to go to the roof. I ain't taking the rap. I did it, but I did it for a good reason. No, they'll come down on me in New York. All right, so his therapist tells him about the body in New York, that 9 body parts. So Dexter's like, nine bags, body parts. It must be Harrison. And Dexter's kind of excited, and Harry's like, well, now you got a reason to live. You got to go help him, make sure he's okay. And then Dexter's about to try to sneak out. He looks at the guy he knew that's dying, I guess, or in a coma, or I don't know, because he's just sitting there, laying there for a long time. He says, you knew him? Oh, so it may seem like he died, but Dexter's like, yeah, he was my neighbor or something. And Dexter's like, how am I gonna get out of here? And then he sees that guy has his keys there. And all of a sudden, he was gonna go out, like, just sneak out regularly, but he sees Batista, and he's like, oh shit, this fucking guy won't leave me alone. So he has to make a quick escape. So he takes out his phone and he calls the hospital, pretending to be Quinn. That was nice, because we don't see Quinn in the first episode. And Batista goes, answers the phone, and nobody's there. Captain Batista. And then Dexter sneaks out. He takes the guy's car keys. He runs out looking like that. Didn't even take, I guess he didn't have any clothes to take with him. And he steals the guy's car, kind of like in Kill Bill, where Kill Bill, the keychain has Pussy Wagon on it. And then the car had Pussy Wagon, so it had an alien thing, and he saw the car had an alien thing, so he took that car. Anyway, Batista's like, it's been an hour. I'm going in there. And they're like, excuse me, sir. Batista storms in and sees that he's gone. And then we get this mysterious woman out of nowhere. Also, I didn't put this in here, I don't think. The music of this episode, unlike Original Sin, it took me a long time to get into the music in Original Sin, because I'm like, I don't know what they're doing. I don't remember music being so prevalent in the original series of Dexter. but in Original Sin, it was like music all the time, and it wasn't good. A lot of music was like, no, that's not 90s music or whatever. Anyway, this was great. The music in this episode was fantastic. So we see this mysterious woman walking into this building. She's got a bag in her arm, and then she walks up to a door, and she puts a scanner in it because this is the only door in the building that has this electric, like, special lock on the door. Everyone else has a regular door. So this, which is interesting. So she breaks in, and we see that she's wearing a mask. She puts a mask on when she gets in there, I think, or maybe before. Maybe we saw her, I don't know. Anyway, she takes off the mask as Uma Thurman. And I'm like, holy shit, they got Uma Thurman. And she starts checking his apartment out. She knows that he's a vegan. Who's this guy? Like, we don't know who this guy is, what she's going through his stuff. She starts going through every drawer. She starts opening things. She's looking for something, for proof that this guy is something. And she finally sees something because this room is bare. It has almost nothing in there. And she sees that on the carpet, there's a little spot that something was placed so somebody could stand on. And then she goes in his ceiling and sees he's got all these driver's license with blood over the pictures of the driver or whoever the person was, their ID. So she's like, ugh, like she's like this creepy. So she takes out this little envelope and this wad of money, and she replaces it where this thing is, this book. And she leaves and she says, I dropped off your invitation. So she's inviting whoever this guy is, looks like he's obviously a killer. She invited him somewhere for somebody, and then she leaves. And then we see Dexter gets to New York City. He almost hits some guy. The guy hits his car and starts screaming at him, and Harry's next to him and looks at him and he goes, he doesn't fit the code. Dexter's like, I know, Dad, and he drives away. I was like, that's funny. Anyway, Dexter pulls up to the Empire Hotel and he sees Harrison in the front helping with bags, and then he goes, oh, my heart could break. Hilarious line, considering what fucking what Harrison did to him. And that's it. So yeah, that's the first episode of Dexter. That's how it ends. I will probably do this not on these stupid shows anymore. That's episode 1 of Dexter. I gave it a 4 out of 5. Yeah, I thought it was fantastic. I also did episode 2, but I'm not gonna go through that. I liked the entire series. It was fantastic. This 4 out of 5 is pretty good. That's the day of the premiere. I wrote that down. 4 out of 5 for that episode. So the first time me watching it, so I would give it a 4 out of 5. I think that's what it got. That's what it has. So yeah. So that is Dexter, first episode. I wanted to talk about it. We talked about it.